Do you think, bottom line, Kenny Pickett ever starts a game aside from injury for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. If I had to answer that right now with how I feel, no. He does not start another game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I think if Russ has a B- season, they extend him for a year or two at a very reasonable price. He doesn't have to play A+ ball. He just has to be good enough.
Turn down the 5th-year option on Pickett, and that's a wrap on his time in Pittsburgh, in other words.
Yeah, he either gets traded or he gets straight up released, and they start hunting for their next franchise quarterback through the draft.
And that, Trey, is my primary issue. I get that Justin Fields is a flawed guy, but if you can get him for a third and you can flood the zone along with Russ or without, I think it's worth it. And I get all the knocks on Justin Fields, but there still remains upside potentially there, as it does for Kenny Pickett, whereas the ripening of Russell Wilson has occurred. We know exactly what he is, and we can excuse the last 3 years or so, but Russell Wilson at age 36 is not going to win the Super Bowl. How do I know that? Because only Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and John Elway have ever been so old and won a Super Bowl. I don't think Russ bucks that trend. And by the way, obviously, as a Steelers fan, I hope I'm wrong about all of that. I'm not rooting against him or rooting for Kenny Pickett out of a sense of self-validation. I'm vain, Trey, but I'm not so vain that that would get in the way for me, that I would root for Russ's failure.
The thing about Russ, when you compare him to the other old quarterbacks that have left and gone on to have success, I think these 3 years have humbled him beyond belief. I think part of the reason he left Seattle is so he could be in the same conversation, those three, because he thought he was capable of carrying an offense. He thought he was the one that could dictate the offense. He's not Peyton Manning. He is not Tom Brady, obviously. I think he realized he needs more help than those guys do. He himself can't turn around a franchise. He found out very easily in Denver that he can't do that. So he's going to a team that has a running game. He's going to a team that has a defense. And he knows that he's not going to be relied upon like he was in Denver